My name is Indigo Dudley, and you are watching Black News Tonight.
My name is Jeff Bulls, and you are watching Black News Tonight.
My name is Cecilia Olvera, and you're watching Black News Tonight.
My name is Dre Parsley Williams, and you are watching Black News Tonight.
My name is Charles Allen, and this is Black News Tonight. Welcome to our show. We're so excited that you're here. We have a great cast ahead of us tonight. Listen, this is an open forum. This is a conversation. This is definitely going to be fun. We're going to try to keep it as lighthearted as possible, but I want you all to understand that we're dealing with serious situations. So please, we're going to play some clips and things of that nature tonight. So we will prepare you if the child should not watch. So I will keep you informed. We're going to have a great time. This is an open forum, like I said, so right away I'm just going to bring our whole cast back with us and get ready to go. Listen, we have great people with us tonight. Look, I'm still learning, y'all. This is hard. All right, we have great people with us tonight. I want to introduce you to the cast. We have one that is still coming. He's having a little bit of connectivity issues, but that's normal when we're doing things like this. You know, the virtual setting, it's evolve or die, and that's the whole point. Everybody should have taken the time, you know, as far as Corona is concerned, to evolve into what's next and what's our new normal, because evolution is inevitable in situations like this. So it's evolution or death. That's why people evolve. So with that being said, I'm so excited to welcome for the very first time to our show, Miss Indigo Dudley from Empower Saginaw. Why don't y'all give Miss Indigo a round of applause?
Hello.
Hello, Indigo. Are you excited to be on today?
Yes, I am.
I'm so super stellar to have you. Like, or is that the right word? I'm stupid excited to have you. Let's try that one.
All right.
I'm stupid excited to have you. Next on our list is Cece Olivera. I probably still slaughtered that, but you'll get me together, right?
Olvera.
All right, I'm gonna try. Hey, was that right? Was that right?
That was right. Yeah.
Okay. Bulls, I'm working on you. I'm gonna get your name right someday. All right. Talk to the people. Tell them, CC, who you are. And she's also from Empower Saginaw. I'm so happy to have her. I'm super stoked. I asked her to come last minute, and she did. And she's here, so she's gonna announce herself and tell you a little bit about herself.
I'm Cecilia Olvera, go by Cece, born and raised in Saginaw, moved to Detroit to go to grad school, get my master's in public administration and public policy, and just love volunteering, decided to make a career out of it.
Awesome. Next, I want to introduce to you two friends of the shows, two correspondents that we have on the show regularly. My first one is a mentor and a friend from the Carolinas, originally from Saginaw. That is in the name of Andreas Parsley, Pastor Dre, if you want me to be politically correct. Why don't you tell everybody hi, sir?
God bless you. Hello, everybody.
All right. Anything you want to say besides hello, everybody?
Oh, man, listen, we're excited to be here once again to assist in speaking on issues that are relevant and relatable to our community. So grateful to be here with these great individuals. Two of them I've known most of my life. Mr. Townsend, I can remember being at his house and with his family from the time I was small. I went to high school with Jeff. And so grateful. Obviously, my experience with you, Charles, has been always wonderful. So grateful for the familial connection that we have. That's historical. Glad to meet the two young ladies who've joined in with us as well. Excited about tonight and what we're going to be discussing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming on the fly as well. Listen, the next person is one of my right-hand guys. Jeff, if I call this guy and I say, Jeff, I want to do some breaking news. Jeff, I want to do some quick coverage. Jeff, can you come? Jeff, can you be there? Jeff, if you there, I'm okay. Man, listen, when I tell you that my brother will sit in his work coat and make sure he can be here for Black News Tonight. So correspondent and friend to the show, Jeff Bulls is back in the building, a.k.a. Jeffrey X. Go and say hello to the people, sir.
Greetings, everyone. Glad to be on. Appreciate you.
Listen, I'm so happy to have you, Jeff Bulls. I'm so excited to introduce the next person that's on the show for the very first time. This is a speaker. This is a poet. This is a black activist. This is my friend. And unfortunately, he has the same name as me. And y'all know how bad that is for my prima donna self. But with that being said, none other than Mr. Charles Townsend. And I'm your namesake because you was born first. So say hello to the people, Charles. I am not. Oh, Charles, my bad. Hold on, Charles. Start over. Say hello to the people. That was my. I had you muted because you was just coming in. Say hello to the people, Seth.
What's up, my people? Yeah, been having some technical difficulties tonight, but very happy to be here. I know almost everybody on the panel. Like Dre said, we grew up together. Grew up with Jeff Bulls. That's fam right there, and Charles Allen. You know. Very, very powerful voice, very powerful stand in the community. I'm proud of what you're doing, bro. I had a chance to meet my sister Indigo this summer. You know, she's a queen for sure. So I'm very happy and honored to be here and have a chance to speak on this forum for the first time.
Hey, man, and we're so excited to have you back. Guys, I want to make you aware there is a private chat right on the side. If you're having any issues that you need to talk about that necessarily you don't want on camera, go ahead and use that private chat. I should have told you that in the rehearsal, but we wanted to make sure we started on time tonight. Please, if you haven't had the chance, go ahead and share the live video with everyone. I did send you that link, and if you shared that, you're all set. But if you want to go ahead and share and let everybody know we're live now, please do that. Make sure you say hello to YouTube, everybody. Say hello to Periscope tonight. We're on there too. We're excited about being on Black News Tonight, and let's not keep it any I just want to do that for let's not make it any longer. Let's get right into it, y'all. And I have a little cue card here for me. I want to start off with who's had a chance to look at the RNC this week.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know.
Everybody's reaction seem to be the same.
I'm going to be honest. I did not watch either of the conventions. I didn't watch either of them because, again, there's not a lot of prevalence to the issues that are pertinent to my heart. I'm pretty moderate in that respect. I don't really lean left or right per se. But there are issues that I stand with on both sides of the spectrum that are in significant opposition to the other side. And so I didn't watch either convention because I knew what they're going to say already. One side was going to attack the current administration. The other side was going to attack the prior administration, and so there was no need for me to see what was there. I got to see the highlights on headline news. I stopped watching CNN and Fox because I just couldn't take it. So I just watched headline news because they keep it comical, and I'd rather laugh at their foolishness than participate in joy. And so
Right. It's so funny that everybody on this panel responded that way about the RNC. Let me tell you why. Because I started off this week, and I said last week, because we covered the DNC, I told Jeff this, I told Danger this, I said, listen, we about to cover the RNC, and it's got to be done, and I got to do it because I got to be this independent news thing, and I got to make sure I keep the coverage right, and I got to make sure it's open, and it's all inclusive. Bro, that first night, let me tell you something. It was just me. That was the mistake. I should have never been up there by myself. Jeff were working, and Jimmy wasn't available until Wednesday. Listen, the opening of the show, my stomach started getting sick. Now, I'm not saying that I lean. Actually, this is the first time I'm saying I'm probably independent more than I'm Democrat or more than I'm Republican.
Oh man, all day.
And that's
I mean, I think it's younger people in general. Like, we don't really tend to hardcore associate with a party like maybe our parents would.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think as we all know, that's old. Like it's out that's what our parents did. Like, you know, our parents had the signs. Our parents made sure that we knew who they was voting for. Like, I still remember Carl Williams as, you know, my parents' guy. That was my parents wanted him in the 95th district so bad. Like, it was important to them. Like, it, you know, they cooked breakfast. They did this. They did that. So for me, politics has always been Democrat. Like, that's, you know, that's how I was raised.
Yep.
But I watched the DNC too. And it didn't make me feel less sick than the RNC.
The only difference between the RNC and the DNC really is, do you like your pandering with some gaslighting or not?
Right.
Well, CC,
The hot sauce.
little hot sauce in the bag, swag.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
kidding.
Okay, I never met that sister before, but I'm honored to meet her tonight. That's all I'm saying. Because she,
Look.
you know,
Look,
You know,
CC's
quick,
that girl.
quick synopsis right there.
because that's what it's all been about, man. The whole mental enslavement thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like from generation to generation to generation, that's all that was preached to us. You have to be Democrat. You have to do this because that's all that matters to us. And that's been one of the biggest lies ever told, man.
Right.
Like, if we don't go independent, we are losing out, to be honest, because neither side give a damn about us, to be honest.
Right. And listen, I definitely I would have to agree with you. And I'll err on the side of caution and say this. In no way will I ever try to sway anybody's vote, unless it comes to something that's a lie. But it ain't my job to sway you to vote for nobody that I want you to vote for. But it's definitely my job to give you all the information that I possibly can give you, right? With that being said, though, I feel like in this community, in this climate, where we are right now in the America that we live in today, it literally is becoming a situation where now you have to be ashamed for making your politics, black, or making your politics Hispanic, or making your politics, you shouldn't have to be ashamed for self-preservation. That is the number one law of man, is self-preservation. And that's why I think it's good that we have open forums like this where ain't nobody gonna pull my leash and tell me what to do on Black News Tonight. So current media narratives are very, very racist. Current media narratives are very racist. So I wanted to talk about the RNC, but I'm going to when Danger gets here, I'm going to play y'all some videos and get y'all reaction on that. Let's go right into Kenosha, Wisconsin, because I feel like everyone has something to say about that event. And I'm going to let Jeff Bull start off by telling us exactly before the riot started, before the protest started, what happened. Okay? Jeff, why don't you take it there and tell the people why we're even talking about this, because some people may not know about Kenosha, Wisconsin. Being shocked, but there are lots of people that don't know.
Well, if you've been under a rock and you're now getting out, the situation was pretty straightforward. You had a situation where a gentleman was breaking up a fight, and the police were called to the scene. They arrived to the scene, barely dealt with the reason why they were called, and actually turned their attention to the gentleman that broke up the fight. Gave him a hard time, attempted to subdue him somehow and arrest him for whatever reason, not sure. He wasn't having it. An encounter or a tussle ensued. He attempted to go to his vehicle, to the driver's side of his vehicle, to check on his children. He had children in his vehicle. The police, their official statement is that they thought he was reaching for something in his vehicle, and they opened fire, hitting him with 7 shots
At
In
point
the
blank
back.
range.
in the
At
back.
point blank.
In the
Point
back.
point blank though.
Yeah, very much so at point blank. Um, I tried to keep that as general as possible. That's not how I saw it. As far as I don't think he was reaching for anything myself. I just think he was going to his car to check on his children. Uh, as a father myself, I imagine he was in a tussle, and in the midst of that tussle, he probably thought, "Where are my children? Let me go check on my children."
Of course.
And you know what I mean? That's where everything took a nosedive. Um, wow, that's all I can say. You know, our last show, myself and Charles, the last time I was on, that was the first time I actually watched the video, and it just angered me all over again. Nothing about that encounter. They can't sell anything about that encounter as good police work or even good tactical police work. You know what I mean? Because even if you felt like he was going for something, wouldn't you back off? Wouldn't you, you would retreat, take cover. Hey, don't do that,
Okay.
Or here's a thought: before he even gets to the door, if you think he's going for something, how about
That part.
tackling him, taking him down?
Stop
Yeah,
him from even getting to it.
why
Yeah,
why does it take firearms when you got 3 trained professionals right behind the man?
Train.
and he's unarmed.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
and I think people don't understand why at this time did we need that. Oh, Dre, I'm sorry.
You know what
Go
I mean?
go, go ahead,
Because
Dre.
even if you felt like he was going for something,
You watching the
wouldn't you
show,
back
aren't
off?
you?
Wouldn't you?
You are
You would
watching the show right now,
retreat,
aren't
take
you?
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't do
We're
that.
hearing the lag
We
in
can
your
hear it.
audio, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
I was trying to share it to another page. I apologize.
No, I appreciate you. Keep watching it. Open all y'all phones up. That gives us, yeah. Please do that if you haven't. But turn your volume down. But open all y'all phones.
Bugs, I thought I was watching Kung Fu Theater for a minute. Like, yes. And
But
then
but but listen though. When we talk about police de-escalation and all of those
what's that in
things,
the background?
that's Dre's daughter. It's okay. I'm because y'all gonna hear my kids in a minute. But Dre, I think you had something to say before I mute you. So what are you gonna say about
Yeah.
this?
What I was saying is, I work in law enforcement. Actually, I'm a officer, a sworn officer of the state. I'm a therapist at a detention center. But you have to go through some of the officers' training as far as restraints and as far as de-escalation techniques. And oftentimes, individuals are, just to be blatantly honest, some individuals who don't get it or are not, as skilled in that particular arena are, helped along. And oftentimes helping those individuals along, causes for duress in the sense that they're not very skilled in their areas that they need to be skilled in. And that causes obviously situations like this. And so, saying that individuals are trained is something that should be said with quotation marks, as well as under you know under the guise of okay, they're trained, but oftentimes individuals are not held to the highest order and standard as it relates to some of those techniques. So I just wanted to make sure that that was added to the equation.
Yeah, because there's trained and then there's properly trained.
I would say there's training and then there's mastery of what's being trained on. I think I don't think a lot of times people go for mastery. I think people push people to go towards sufficiency rather than mastery, and I think that's two different arenas.
I
Oh
guess
yeah.
on that point too, like a lot of people don't know this about myself, but my education background is in criminal justice. I don't exactly go out there and broadcast that. But
Well,
the
you
thing
did
about
tonight.
yeah, the thing about that is, when it comes to this and when it's going to be looked at further, the policy itself is going to justify that action. What bothers us as people of color and what bothers us as civilians is we can see the obvious disparages in how that would be handled between races. like
Mm.
like we see that it's out in our face. We see it every day in everyday life between a white individual in that situation and a black man or a person of color in that situation. Unfortunately, though, like you said, it suffices. It checks the boxes, so it's going to be policy justified, which is just it's sickening.
Wow. Policy just I had a conversation with my mentor today before I was even talking about doing this show. I mean, I knew that I was doing this show, but I was talking to him about the situation in Kenosha, and the thing that he said to me, and it was groundbreaking. He said to me, nobody cares unless they die.
Mm.
And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, the difference between George Floyd and Breonna Taylor is they can't speak. They're dead. So racist people always equate, well, at least they didn't die. At least they didn't, they're still alive. So at least, they resisted, so at least they didn't get killed. So it's a dehumanization is what it is, and we need to make sure we're clear on that. The fact of the matter is that we were not brought here to be citizens. So let's not get that twisted. We are now. But it took 100 years to fight for those rights. And what happens is you sit up, and Charles, I seen on your page today, and it was something very, very cool. It's like, he said it in a way that, basically, I'm going to paraphrase him, but he said, black people always have to apologize about how they protest or about how they talk about the injustice or how they speak on it. They can't just come out and say there's pain that needs to be dealt with.
Or apologize for being killed.
Or apologize that if you're dead, you can't even apologize for it. But we literally haven't. We're literally in a situation where people want us to apologize for being in situations that we didn't ask to be in. And when I say we didn't ask to be in, I mean nobody on this panel asked to even be in. No, I'm going to say it. Asked to be in this country. Okay, so. With that being said, we have to fight for a greater America. And I'm not talking about that kind of greater America. What I'm talking about is an America that represents all people. And understanding all people does not mean a few people, like a few here and a few there.
It means all.
It means all people. It means that you should be able to look at the picture and see who is not represented. You should be able to do that. That is not that is not what we're asking you to do. Here's the thing. There should never be a reason why a black person has to explain to you what they feel is racist and what they feel that they're going through. And what they're going through, you should never be able to tell them that they're not correct about their experience in this United States. So
that's on us. That's on us.
Repeat that.
That's on us. I think.
It is on us.
We have to stand up and be bold about it. One thing I say, and I tell people that challenge anything as it pertains to this conversation, I tell them flat out, you don't have the right to. This is not your experience. We have to be bold. We have to stop allowing them to inject their privilege into the conversation. This is not your conversation. You know what I mean? You don't get to tell me what my experience is. Same for you. I can't
Right.
tell another person what their experience is. So you damn for sure can't tell me what my experience is. So we have to be assertive in conversation. Like I think a lot of us, I imagine all of us on this panel have white friends and, friends that are not of our persuasion. And a lot of times we default to a place that kind of makes them comfortable. So
Facts.
we
Mm.
can't do that anymore. Can't do that.
And
No, it's been time
Right.
out for that, bro.
I
Yeah,
Been
exactly.
time out.
no,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go
Indigo,
ahead. Oh,
please. Indigo,
okay.
I will talk all night. So just go ahead. I'll
No,
mute you if I need you to shut up.
I'm screaming. Okay. Well, I definitely agree with you, Jeff. Like, I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter what the situation is. You are always correcting your feelings. Like how you feel, nobody's able to tell you how you feel. Like if I say I'm sad and somebody says, no, you're not, I'm like, what? So you don't like nobody gets to do that. But it's frustrating, and I talk about this a lot in some of the presentations that I give at the university, how it is exhausting trying to explain myself every single time people don't get it. Like, oh, I don't get it. He's only paralyzed. Only?
Mm.
Only.
Mm.
Like, one, the situation could have been so much worse. And
Right.
it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But
Exactly.
only. Like I get so tired because then I don't want to turn into the angry black woman stereotype because sometimes
Who cares about that
I don't
narrative
worry about that
anymore?
no more either.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to come from a place where I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I don't want you like, yes, I know that I need to vent and outlet, but I know at the end of the day, you're not going to hear what I'm saying if I vent to you, if I
Right.
react that way. You're only going to listen to how I was yelling at you and how that made you feel. So it's
Mm.
it's exhausting and it's just a taxing battle and I'm just really tired. I'm just so tired.
Oh yeah.
Charles, please tell us what you're feeling, brother.
Uh, I feel a lot of emotions, man, because it's like, a post that I made earlier was about us just plain and simple being tired. You know what I'm saying? It's beyond enough. And those that know me personally know I don't really cuss, but it's like it's been hard for me to describe things without cussing because it's
Facts.
like we so beyond the point of being fed up, man. It's like, damn, what more has to happen for these insensitive bastards to understand that we're tired of this and we don't deserve it? Like the sister just said, he's only paralyzed. How dare you say that? This man's whole quality of life has changed for life now. He will never be the same again. He's not even guaranteed to live through this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Right.
he's trying to break up a fight. But you have this 17-year-old bastard that rides all the way down there to help with the protest, to help defend stuff that's not even related to him, kills two people, makes another person lose an arm. People are pointing out to the cops that he's the shooter, that he just killed these people, and they just allow him to walk past them with an assault rifle. An assault rifle. And they want to have
Walk.
the nerve to say we thought he was reaching for a weapon, but your actions show that your attempts to stop him from getting to the vehicle was tugging at his t-shirt.
Wow.
That's y'all
Versus
trying
the
to prevent him from getting to a weapon.
Please, wait, guys, you're gonna hear me call this. Danger, can you put the picture up of Kyle, please?
mm,
So when we talk about stuff, I want to make sure we're able to talk about it. I don't know if you guys see Kyle, but Kyle literally has. When I was a kid, we called them butt inspection gloves on, but gloves on,
Hmm.
So he doesn't leave any fingerprints.
any fingerprints.
I noticed that right away too.
This is an illegal
Right.
assault rifle.
Right.
Right. Right.
And he's 17.
And he's 17, so it's illegal either way you look at it. So,
Right.
But let me just show you something because I need to paint this narrative for everybody out there. So let me tell you this, and here's a good point for you. So you take a gentleman who
Loosely.
three
Gentlemen.
officers came on the scene because he was breaking up a fight. He becomes a suspect. You now want him to, you want to apprehend him, put him under arrest.
Right.
He doesn't want to do those things.
Especially
right?
with his
Everybody
kids in the car.
And nobody wants to do that with their kids in this car.
Right.
With their kids in the car. So you shoot him in the back 3 times, and I just want to show everybody how it makes me feel. So not only you shoot him in the back 3 times.
7 times.
7 times, excuse me. 3 cops shoot in the back 7 times. I know it's 7 times, but I'm thinking about the 3 cops behind the man. Like, now, all of a sudden, the narratives come out in the paper or on news media. Y'all need way more explanation for Kyle, who's traveled through state lines with an assault rifle,
with his mom,
with his mom, who brung him there, who killed peaceful protesters. Y'all need more information to label him the criminal, the Marxist that he is. But y'all didn't need more information to label the black gentleman wrong for resisting. Just take the man's license plate and do your job. He should have never been able to walk by you with an assault rifle in his hand. And you label him as an aspiring police officer.
And a patriot.
Because he supports something that you believe in. Stop finding black people that think like you think and actually deal with the whole thing and find out why there's so many people marching in D.C. today. Like, why? Or on the 29th, why are they doing that? There's a reason why people are anti-Trump. There's a reason why people are doing this. You can't keep going to get token black people like Herschel Walker and letting him speak. And think that's going to take care of all the black people. No, what that is deflecting. What that is not dealing with the necessary problem at hand. And don't give me 4 days of bullcrap telling me that America is not a racist country because 5 black people said it. That's not enough black people to say it. Like those 5, and then I don't want to hear any congressman tell me why yes, I'm here and I'm voting because I'm a Democrat. But I'm sure you're probably shocked that I'm here. I'm sure you're shocked that I'm here and I'm standing and I'm a black man. I'm not shocked. It doesn't confuse me. Money will make people do anything. Right.
Check that bank statement.
And so many older people are just so used to white appeasing. I mean, like just because you find a handful of black people, of people of color,
Say that word
white
again.
appeasing, and we see it so much in Saginaw, especially. But just because you find like a handful of black people and people of color to say that Donald Trump isn't racist, like that doesn't make my experience, the experience of everybody in my life, more or less valid. Like we all experience racism on a daily basis.
I'm just still taken aback from the fact that like his mom supplied that little boy's mom, because he's a boy, he's not a man. I don't consider him a man.
Right.
That little boy's mom supplied him with the weapon, dropped him off. This was planned.
Right.
And how are you going to tell me racism doesn't exist when that incident happened? How are you going to tell me?
Why isn't she in jail? That's
aiding and abetting.
That's aiding and abetting.
I can think of a myriad of charges.
Yeah.
She dropped him off knowing nothing would happen to him, though. How about that?
Boom.
How about that part?
She did. Exactly. No, Charles, you're right.
She knew nothing would happen to him.
Must be nice.
Versus my mama's mad at me for protesting.
That's privilege.
Because she thinks it's racist.
Right. I'm over here writing numbers on my arm, making sure, because I only have my mom's phone number memorized still. Sorry. But like, I'm over here writing numbers on my arm just in case.
Making plans to get my bills paid just in case. Where's my dog gonna go?
Listen, no, but the funny thing is, y'all, is like, here's the thing though. I had a conversation with one of my Caucasian friends, and I even hate to use the word Caucasian friends, but
Right.
I gotta say it. No, listen, because
Hey, this
you
okay?
gotta you gotta understand, like, even they don't know what privilege is. Even they don't know. So I was talking to my friend, and he was like, there should be more. No, there's actually 25 viewers. Charles and each of thank you so much, Stacy. Y'all say hi to Stacy Waskovich. She's sharing the videos. But he doesn't know that you get a free phone call. He was telling me about being locked up in jail, right? And he was like, oh yeah, I was locked up for 3 days, and I was just sitting there, and my parents were looking for me and everything else, and I'm like, okay, you locked up for 3 days, and you and you ain't know you had a phone call? He was like, no, I had no idea. To be honest with you, the funny thing is my neighbors, my mom went to my house and she was looking for me. And the neighbors was like, where is he at? And the neighbor said, he's probably in jail if you ain't seen him in 3 days. And even his mom was like, no, my kid would never be in jail.
White
Right?
privilege.
What? He didn't even know he got a free phone call. How many on this phone call know that you get a free phone call when you go to jail? I've never been to jail, though. I know that, though. I've never been to
I've
jail,
never
but
been,
I know.
but I know.
I know. Why do we know? Whose mother told you? Raise your hand if your mama told you that you get a free phone call.
No, I just we got hood cousins, so we know.
Okay. Raise your hand if the village told you. Raise your hand if the village
But the
told
same
you.
thing, like when
Right.
my Caucasian friends do encounter the justice system, they always come to me like, so how can I tell if someone's in jail? How do I check the register? How do I do this? How do I do that? Because that's not something that's in their life, what they're prepared to do and experience in life.
Well, I went to jail,
Listen.
so I found out personally. So,
Okay.
nobody had to tell
Okay.
me.
Okay, I forgot. I did go to jail once,
Uh-huh.
but I was released.
You forgot?
This is how crazy it was. I shouldn't have been there because they booked me and released me on my own recognizance. Right? Now, I'm not going to talk about that experience, but it was not a great experience. It happened in Ithaca County. I'm not going to talk about that experience tonight, but it was not a great experience. But listen, though, Dre.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a personal question.
You got me. You're pretty transparent guy.
Not personal, regarding the show, okay? When you are pulled over, sir, do you put your hands on the steering wheel?
No.
Where do you put your hands at?
I don't, wherever my hands are, they are. I try to be, if I have my sons in the car, I try to be very mindful of what I'm doing. But I'm always very direct and very, I hate to say this, but very condescending towards the officers. So they know that they don't play with me when we're in the middle of this. You know what I mean? And where I live in a primarily European American community. The roots of the word Caucasian are bad. You can research that on your own. Well, I don't like to tell people to do their research, but I don't use Caucasian because of the roots of that word and the scientists and the ethnologists who created that word under the symbolism that Caucasian was a superior race. And so all Americans because of that. But anyway, I appreciate it. I live in a primarily European American community. And so because of that, I've lived here 14 months, 15 months, and I've been pulled over at least 8 times within a mile and a half of where I live. One day, I was pulling out of my I was getting ready to pull out my driveway, and a police officer saw me when I came out the house the first time. And I was putting some stuff in the car. I was getting my son. And I came out the second time, and I noticed she was at the edge, getting ready to go past my driveway. So I waited, and I started backing up out the driveway, and he waited for me like 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
See, facts. See, I know
I've had that happen. Yep.
I've had that happen myself in Saginaw.
and I pulled out, and he waited till he got about not even a mile from my house, pulled me over, and then said my insurance, my plates have been revoked for my insurance. Now, I was killing him when he was talking. I'm like, you're lying. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, they took my plate, so why did I have to go get a new plate the very next day? Because they was like, oh, I had to take my information in. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, I don't know why he took your place. He should have took your place, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of stuff to deal with. Driving while black, being an African American. I'm a pastor. I'm an upstanding citizen. I pay my taxes. I got insurance on my cars, all that kind of stuff.
And you light skinned.
And I'm like, who
said that?
Oh my goodness.
Who said that?
Bulls.
Bull, come on.
No, wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
This time.
The reason
and so it is the worst conundrum to be an intelligent, intellectual, affluent person of color when they have not validated you as someone who is one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Who's token?
Yeah, and so and if any of y'all know me, and I know Charles knows more so than everybody else. I am a confrontational dude. I'm gonna come to you. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
I'm not the guy that's gonna sit back and be like, oh, okay, no. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is and how I feel about what it is. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna apologize. But when I'm right, I'm gonna let you know that I'm correct and that you're not in order in this particular juncture. And so we've had an interesting relationship because I went back to the police station, to the department, and proved to them that my insurance and they could give me an answer why. You know what I'm saying? My stuff was taken. And so these are the things that we have to endure as African American men. And one time, and I don't mean to dominate the time, I apologize, Charles. One time I had my handicapped son. My son, he was born with hydrocephalus, and so he has some developmental delays. He's 23, but he still has some developmental delays. You know what I'm saying? And so he's living with me at the moment because we want to try to work him towards independence, blah, blah, blah. And I had to check the officer for trying to get my son's identification in the front seat of the car. And I'm like, you're not going to take his identification. You're not going to get anything from him. This is my developmentally disabled son. And you're going to either talk to me or you're going to have to call somebody because we're not doing this today. You know what I'm saying? So this is the stuff. And I was not even a half a mile from my house at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And so these are the things that we have to consistently endure. I believe at this point they probably targeted me a little bit because he think he tough. That's what they probably say. Oh, he think he tough. Yes, I do. I will fight.
Negro.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. And so,
okay.
I'm gonna tell him Jesus says right after that. Right after.
Love that.
Okay, so first of all, Lisa Coney says, I hope you all vote and encourage other millennials to vote. Listen, I'm a millennial who believes in voting, Lisa. Cece's a millennial who believes in voting. Indigo's a millennial who believes in voting. I don't even know if Jeff Bulls and all these other guys are millennials, but
I don't think Indigo and I technically are millennials.
No. I read a tweet that I was the honorary member of the Black Eyed Peas, so I'm going to accept that one.
Maybe Gen Xers? Y'all Gen Xers?
Gay millennials.
Okay, unfortunately, but like I identify up, so.
I'm sorry, you a millennial. We not about to do that. You a millennial on my show today. CC and Indigo millennial. Because let me tell you something. Them y'all gens will not be right until 20 years later. That's when they gonna start talking about y'all gens.
I did not start claiming after they did that Tide Pod stuff.
I was just gonna say.
That ain't me. I don't know who that is.
Listen. I want to make sure we continue to be interactive. So let me tell you what the comments are saying. Do you guys see the comments coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to pull a couple of these up. So Ray Amanda said, she said, y'all stop tiptoeing and just say white and quit feeling obligated to tiptoe. Okay.
I didn't.
I don't believe anybody's black. I don't believe anybody's white. I don't believe anybody's black.
Right.
I don't believe. Yeah, I don't believe anybody's white or black. Those are opaque and all colors.
Okay.
That's the melanin.
Drake.
I'm gonna call them European Americans because that's what they are.
European Americans. Okay. All right. Now Stacy says, and Stacy's one of my good friends. She says, same for us. We tiptoe on what to say. Black, brown, African American. Charles and I have had this conversation, and we have. And you guys, I'm gonna tell you something. I prefer like people of color, because I personally don't necessarily agree with us trying to find a term for all black people in America. And the reason why is because black people are from the cradle of creation. And when you're from the cradle of creation, that means we're spread out all over the world. Okay, and there's Jamaicans, there's Haitians, there is Puerto Ricans that have African American descent.
Afro-Latinos.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I
right.
say blood clot.
Lineage is
Right.
important.
Right.
Lineage.
I like
So-
leaning towards people of color more than I like leaning towards black. But like, if I'm looking for specification, I use black instead of African American because we don't
I
have
never
the
use that.
luxury of knowing our lineage. Like, I don't know if I'm actually from Africa.
We don't
So
know
it's
that.
like- So
A lot of us were here already.
Yeah, you assuming
thank
that
you.
I'm African American is nice, but
I'm
the
an
real term is black.
Slave.
So
I never use that word. I hate that word.
What? Which
Anyway,
one?
sorry. African American.
Oh no, Charles, you're free to speak. I just might cut y'all off at some point. No, everybody free to open.
Yeah.
No, that's why we're doing this, because I feel like too many times, like we gonna have this conversation every time a black person gets killed by a police officer, or every time. You know, we can't continue to have the conversation, but if we don't talk about this stuff, if we don't have open conversation, then European Americans don't get to hear the point of view that they need to. If we listen to Herschel Walker and that congressman that was speaking all that time, those people don't represent ideals that we have. Those people don't represent all people of color.
Yeah, we're not
May I
listening
say
to
that
them
they're not trying to.
That's
They're not trying to. Their purpose of doing that in that form was not for black people.
No.
It was to make white people comfortable in that form.
And that money talking.
Yep. So
see,
Guaranteed they got paid.
okay, can we pause? I want to tackle this comment that's been brought up.
yes.
And I think I understand where, do I pronounce that as Bo?
Yes,
I'm gonna-
Bo.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from with that. However, we can't start to see similarities until we recognize each other for our differences. Like one of my friends, they put it very good. Like, I can't love you in spite of what you're doing. I have to love you because of who you are. So like, you can't, we have to recognize differences in order to appreciate that person as a whole. We can't just say, oh, I like this, so that we can disregard everything else that we don't have in common. We have to recognize those differences in order to appreciate the people as a whole. But I understand where you're coming from with that too.
Yeah. If you can't see my struggle, you're not my ally. Flat out. You know what I mean?
Flat out.
Okay, here's
Straight
the problem, y'all. I know Bo personally. I'm not gonna definitely. I know who Bo is. This is what I can say, and I think what I'm not gonna protect him. He put his comment out there, but I know that he doesn't mean it from a hateful place. Because
Oh, no, I didn't take it that way.
Oh
I
no,
know.
not at all.
No, but I just want to make I want to make sure we control narratives tonight, because see, we can get off this thing and ruin people's characters and ruin their families, and I want to make sure that we make sure we keep it, because we don't want cancel culture on Black News tonight. And I want to make sure we clear that up, because if we keep canceling people, what we're going to do is get what we see the ideology of the Ku Klux Klan is. They want it to be racist, but they want it to be quiet about it. So what cancel culture does is make someone put on a hood. And we don't want them to have on a hood. We want them to actually tell us what they have an issue with, so we can figure out how we come to a common agreement, a common respect, understanding that if the taxpayer dollars pay for the police, then they have to protect all Americans. You know, you cannot tell a black man to resist, to not resist. Like, you can't tell him, don't resist. That's like telling a woman Oh, this was the best meme I ever seen in my life. And Amanda Ray Stinger brought that to my attention. You can't tell a black man not to resist a police officer so he won't get killed. That's like telling a woman to watch what she wears so she won't get raped.
Amen.
Same deal. Same deal.
We sick and tired of you telling us what to do to stay alive.
And
When we
listen,
do everything to stay alive and it don't work.
you know,
And it's hypocritical. The same people that hate masks and actually went to the Capitol to protest
I was going to
being
mention this
told to
earlier.
wear masks. You can't tell me to respect authority when you don't.
Exactly.
Wow.
Not to mention they was all up in the police face.
All in it,
Armed.
without a mask.
Armed.
Armed.
With the safety off the assault rifles.
In the chamber of commerce. In the chamber.
And I don't know if any of you guys have seen Vanessa Guerra live at the Capitol during that, explaining the fear that they were inciting versus our little protests that we do. And when these protests do escalate and they choose to use that to validate like what we're doing, it's usually always incited by angry white people or police who arrive and respond very poorly.
Can we talk about this, Charles, for a moment?
Please.
I don't know if I missed this or not, but if we consider what CC,
That works.
if we consider what she's saying here, if we look at each of the riots that have transpired across the country, if we look at even what was happening in Kenosha, we don't see that it's ADOS people that are inciting the riots. They are individuals who are of European descent, who are breaking things, who are busting windows, who are turning over cars, who are setting fires. It's not people that are ADOS. And so the difficulty we're presenting.
Provocateurs.
Say that again.
Provocateurs.
Yeah.
Agent provocateurs. Yeah.
So the difficulty we're presented with is how in the world do we, so someone wrote on there, how do we come to a common ground, right? The first thing is the way to common ground comes with being honest about what's actually happening. Okay.
Facts.
If you can't be honest about what's actually happening, then you can't ever come to a common ground. We have the most sensational manipulating of information administration ever in the presidency that's happening right now. These individuals know how to tell a lie enough times where people will believe the lie, no matter what it is. And so now we struggle because we have a young man, 17, who has weed charges, who has intoxication charges, who has fighting with police charges, all these things.
High school dropout.
Huh?
High school dropout.
High school dropout. All of these things who have been dropped down, right? But he never goes.
Charles, you're just gonna have to interrupt, brother.
He never goes to detention. Go ahead.
I just want to drop something on y'all real quick that I just found out, bro. Chadwick Boseman just died.
Yeah, I know. I just saw it. I just posted that. Yeah.
Chadwick.
He died of colon
The guy that
cancer.
played Black Panther.
You lying.
Both
No!
Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
Chadwick that play. Wait. Who? Which one?
Wait, what did he die of?
Colon cancer.
Are you talking about like
Oh my goodness.
T'Challa?
Colon cancer.
Yes.
T'Challa died?
Oh my
Man,
T'Challa.
Danger, please get us a tick that says rest in peace. Find out his Chadwick Boseman. Oh my God, please get us a tick. I seen Jovan McMillan told me that, but I had no idea that's what he was saying, yo.
What the?
I just thought he was saying something about Black Panther. I didn't know that. Oh my God. I didn't even know he had colon cancer.
You're lying.
I don't think it was publicized. But if you saw a couple pictures of him a few months ago, he was looking real skinny. You know what I'm saying?
For a minute.
Something wrong with him, but no one ever said publicly.
Rest in power to that brother. Rest in power to that brother, though.
See that comment that came through and it was like, y'all say what you want. I got 25 years of service.
No, I didn't see that.
I see it. I'm not really sure. I'm not following.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what that meant.
Only 43 years old. I'm that comment. Man, y'all say what you y'all say and do what you have to. I got 25 years of service for this country for y'all to spread y'all word.
What does that mean?
You're basically saying
no.
he fought for our freedom of speech. That's what I'm gathering.
Oh, I don't think it was I
It wasn't a
support.
bad
He
thing.
supports us. He supports us.
Okay,
He said
Right.
so. Hey,
Yeah, that's my
thank you
cousin.
for your service, Willie Broxton.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
Thank you
cousin.
for your
That's my
service.
cousin right there.
Thank you for your service, brother. Like, we appreciate your service to this country, and we know that there is a debt that you paid, and that, first of all, frankly, to be frank with you, you're still not looked at as your cousin as a full American citizen, and you fought and you gave your hardest to. Well, actually, I just want to say this. We
There's
thank you for
history in that too.
there's
Uh,
history in that.
yeah,
Lots
the
of it.
red summer. That
Oh
was
my gosh.
that was actual black, people coming home from the service from overseas and were killed. Red
in the
summer.
streets,
Red
like
summer.
animals, like
So
animals.
listen, I support our military, and I support all of our veterans who have fallen during war. All of our veterans who have PTSD right now and are still not being treated as if that's a serious issue, a serious mental problem. We got to make sure that we keep doing our best to bring more light to that situation. These people serve our country and then they come home and it's like the war is here with them. When we come to the 4th of July, our veterans are very, very much so affected by the big booms and the loud noises, and us as Americans are celebrating something that is our Independence Day, and we don't even respect the people that made it possible for us to still be independent. And I think we need to revisit some of those things. Like, we as Americans have to get to a point where our partying and the way we like to support things and the way we like to do it, it has to represent all people. It has to be inclusive. It has to make, you gotta, if you, what's good for the gander, simple as that, everybody has to be included.
We can't say that. That's another hypocritical topic. We can't say that we support the military and we support our troops and then stand by and watch them. A lot of them people are homeless. We don't support them. Let's stop lying about that. We don't support them. We support them. We support them symbolically by
Amen.
saying thank you for your service. But for me, I don't know about y'all, but love is an action word.
Facts.
What do you do for me? Like, don't say you support me. Make sure I got health care. Make sure I have somewhere to lay my head. If I'm homeless as a veteran, you don't really support me.
I think, wow. Brings us right along to our next topic.